Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Hey, I was able to keep Bob Casey of Sitters, Etc., and Robert Jackson of Sitters, Etc., and Peter Casey of IFPG.org. And I tell you, I'm glad we were able to do it because I feel like we were just getting momentum. And Robert, I want you to jump in. First of all, reintroduce Peter for this segment, for those who just joined us, and also go ahead with your next question for him.
Okay, great. Peter is the co-founder of IFPG, International Franchise Professionals Group, and that's a large group of professional consultants that help people find the right business for them in the franchise community. And why don't we start, Peter? You just tell us the year you founded it or co-founded it and your most popular type of concepts that you've placed candidates into.
Sure. Now, I've been a broker since 2003. And involved helping people. And we co-founded just about 3 years ago, heading into our third year right now, actually, for the IFPG. When it comes to the most, it's a funny question. I always get, what's the hot franchise now? What's the popular one? The hot franchise today might be the cold one tomorrow. So it's kind of the whole popularity aspect of it, or the enthusiasm. It's not like when you buy a stock that's heading into its gravy years and then waiting and instantly selling it. Franchise is more complicated than that. You buy one that's hot today and possibly cool or cold tomorrow, you have a very large asset that no one wants. And that's a very different animal than say, the stock market. So it's a very good question to get a lot. What are we seeing a lot of today? We're seeing smart franchises be sold, meaning we're seeing franchises that have demonstrated success, have meets a specific need in the community, one that's going to stand the test of time, not one that's based on a new technology or based on a new trend. We have franchises that we're seeing people gravitate to, people with money who are educated, who do their due diligence. They're moving really more towards the franchises that provide a key service, provide a service that the community needs, a service that won't go out of style, a service that can't be replaced with technology.
Yeah, and those are getting harder and harder to find, absolutely. So you got to do a lot of homework, a lot of tire kicking, and be, very careful about that. By the way, IFPG.org, that's where you learn more about Peter's group. Bob, your next question.
Yeah, and Sitters, Etc., we'll be attending, of course, your conference down there, your annual conference coming up in May. What other networking strategies do you use, Peter, to reach good prospects?
Well, the networking component is very big, and it's changed with the social media. Though the social media aspect of it, I'm not 100% convinced is generating the amount of successful placement as maybe people thought it was going to. So really, the eyeball-to-eyeball networking events, it can be in the very retail version of it, could be a local chamber of commerce, BNI, Let's Hip. The more advanced aspect of it is working with people who are in career counseling positions and headhunting organizations. Those, for networking aspects, that's a big one. CPAs, accountants, financial planners to some extent, though financial planners have to be willing to give up some of their assets that they're managing for their client while that client uses it to buy a franchise. So the networking aspect of it's still there, is always there. It's really about meeting the right people, educating about what you do. Franchise brokerage is still somewhat on the newer side, meaning it's beginning to become more of a mainstay, but it's still a fairly new concept for a lot of people. So really, when you network, the challenge is getting people to understand what you do and how you can help them and how you can help their referrals.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. And I think it's so crucial for people to be able to do a lot of homework, talk to groups like yours, and I think it's fantastic. By the way, obviously networking is a big part of what you're doing with your organization, but kind of give us a total scope of the services you're providing business brokers.
Well, for our guys who are in the IFPG, we have really a portfolio of franchises that are about 300 deep. Meaning all these franchises are under contract with us specifically for the purpose of working with our broker members and their clients. They also get a very state-of-the-art but functionally smart website, support site, meaning our website's not filled with bells and whistles to make it look prettier or more exciting. It's filled with useful content created by franchise professionals specifically for our members, whether it be a franchisor member or a broker member. Franchise broker member. So essentially, our site is is smart, useful, easy to navigate, and makes sense without a bunch of fluff on it. So in the third component of it, of what we offer, is training. We have continuing education virtually every month. We have plenty of opportunities to dial in, listen to webinars, podcasts, conference calls, meet face-to-face in local chapters. So it's really, those components are really the three legs of the stool that make up our industry, which is training, inventory, resources, people to work with. So those types of things we bring to the table, and we're really proud of ourselves that we do so without any marketing hype or fanfare. We do it because we know it's the right thing, and our members know it's the right thing as well.
Very good, very good. Go ahead, Bob.
One thing that I like in particular, being a member of IFPG, is this lead feed. And what that is, for your listeners, is that as sitters, et cetera, we post our profile in the inventory so they know that we offer franchising in 40 states and what we do. But what happens is his broker members can go on there and they can post a need for, say, Houston. They can say, in Houston we have someone with $200,000 to invest, wants to be a multi-unit operator, and has the information for the broker to call, what day he posted it. He can say he's interested in, multi-unit operation, single-unit operation, area development. So it gives us a lot of information before we even do a click-through to that broker. So that's very unique. I wanted to praise Peter for having that lead feed.
Yeah, thank you. That is probably one of the most appreciated tools by the people who use it regularly, and probably a hidden gem for those who haven't tried it yet. Essentially what we're doing is just saying, hey, I have a candidate, Mr. Franchisor or Mrs. Franchisor out there in the public. Here's my guy. You interested? And if they are, simple click, and I say, yeah, you know what, I have a great territory in Houston. It's already been mapped out, and I have the demographics are strong. I'd love to speak to your candidate. It's just another way for franchisor members to be proactive, to go in and take a look and say, is this, what do we got in the lead feed today? And for our proactive brokers who want some additional assistance or maybe want to effectively reach a bunch of franchisors with entering this simple client information, it's a great tool for that as well. So, yeah, the lead feed has been very well received, and again, we think it just makes sense. Why not communicate more for those who want to engage?
Yeah, by the way, I do want to mention that Bob Jackson, he can be found over at sittersetcetera.com. And his guest, Peter Casey, he's over at ifpg.org, ifpg.org. Got to wrap it up, gentlemen. Great segment with both of you. Robert Jackson, he's with sittersetcetera.com. And then his guest today, our mutual guest, Peter Casey, he is with ifpg.org. Great segment, gentlemen.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Again, Bob, thank you. Kevin.
When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here, it shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. You're listening to The Price of Business.